Fibre Broadband Association is an association across the Americas that made up of over 250 entities, and we represent all of those entities in their advocacy for the deployment of all fiber networks. We advocate on the Hill in the States at the FCC, trying to remove barriers to that deployment, and we also educate about the benefits of fiber and create networking and business opportunities for our members. Why fiber? A million reasons. Fiber is future-proof technology. It's reliable, and it is absolutely the backbone to so many other things, whether it's the deployment of 5G, the deployment of small cells, the rollout of applications, Internet of Things, smart cities. There is more fiber and more fiber needed for all of those applications, and even in wireless applications, it all comes back to the fiber. 5G technically is 5th generation wireless, and the hallmarks of that are things like greater bandwidth, higher speed, low latency, greater ability to handle lots of demand and machine-to-machine applications. But 5G can also be defined in many other ways. It's about the use cases and the applications that require 5G, things like smart city applications like sensoring and traffic monitoring, smart transportation applications. It's also Internet of Things applications like virtual reality or precision agriculture, smart fleet, autonomous vehicle, etc. All of those can be used to define 5G. We also hear 5G defined as the benefits it brings, whether to people, educational institutions, local businesses, and a smart citizenry, a more informed community. Those are all the benefits of 5G, and some people use that to define 5G. And then finally, there are standards that are needed to make 5G work. And a group called 3GPP, they set those standards, and they're very much in the middle of their development of those standards. And so some people use sort of where are the standards at to define 5G. 5G is also defined by the spectrum you're using. That's important, whether it's upper millimeter wave band or mid-band or lower band. Depending on where the spectrum you're using to provide 5G, where you are on the band, really implicates what kind of applications can be provided and what's the architecture. So it is also dependent on what spectrum you're using. Sure, smart cities are defined by the particular city, often by what is most important to them and what applications they're trying to achieve. So some cities smart transportation, including not only that of cars and public transportation, but pedestrian safety and safety for cyclists. They would define smart cities as having a better smart transportation infrastructure. Some cities define it as continuity of service and ability to restore service after disaster. And then there's a host of many other smart city applications that cities are trying to accomplish when they talk about making their city smart. The infrastructure a city needs to have a smart city definitely starts with fiber. What kind of fiber do you have? What kind of fiber backbone? If you don't have enough fiber, you won't have a smart city. You can't run your applications. We sort of have a well-known example from the early 2000s when the city of Philadelphia very loudly in the press tried to establish a citywide free Wi-Fi for its citizens. And it received a lot of attention because no city of that size had done that before. And ultimately it failed. And in the post-analysis of why it didn't work, why couldn't the city get off this citywide free Wi-Fi to benefit its citizens, they discovered they did not have enough underlying fiber. So truly the applications that people really want to see in a smart city environment all comes back to, do you have enough fiber to support what you're trying to do? We are excited about the growth of fiber. The predictions are big and exciting. Deloitte recently announced they predict over the next 5 to 7 years we need so much fiber to support 5G and smart cities and the Internet of Things. We could see an investment in fiber deployment at about $150 to $180 billion. which is fantastic. What I see for an association like mine to support the deployment of fiber is being at the table, whether it's supporting infrastructure bills on Capitol Hill that must include fiber as part of infrastructure, whether it's helping to ensure that the federal and state governments are making funding available to those who want to build fiber networks, or supporting new entrants like the electric co-ops and the municipalities who want to get into fiber, and the state legislation that supports them to do that. Or it's just the education so everyone knows when we talk about the really cool stuff like 5G and Internet of Things and smart cities, we remember it all needs fiber to be successful. So what's next is making sure we're at the table, educating about that, all of those items, and contributing to those conversations and reminding everybody it's really all about the fiber. Sure, so Prysmian invited me today to speak at the next forum. Prysmian's a great company. They're a member of ours and a really important member. I've actually been to a few things around the globe and I've seen them everywhere. So being plugged in and being a part of the work Prysmian is doing is great. They're a great partner to the association. Love having them as a member. And I have been speaking a lot and take any opportunity to advocate for fiber and why it's so important for discussions around 5G and Internet of Things. And that is exactly what Prysmian teed up. So a great forum to keep talking and pointing out the role of fiber and how important it is. So today's event really gave me that platform to keep advocating for that point.